You know, it's amusing to me that as Lego lovers, we can spend so much time poring over just pictures of boxes in anticipation of new releases. It reminds me of being a kid and getting the Sears Christmas catalog when we'd get it in the fall and we'd kind of pore over the toys for what we would want at Christmas time. So I have that same sense of anticipation I had as a kid when I look particularly at this set that's coming out, set number 31168, which is the Horse Castle. I am just so excited by this set. Last time I talked about one of the three builds because it's a 3-in-1 set. So, I mean, not only is it a castle build, but you're going to get three different bangs of different kind of castle builds within the set. The first one that I looked at was the jousting set, which I think just looks fantastic, and I can't wait for it. And today I'd like to look at the kind of windmill, what I think of as like a city gate kind of build with a windmill in it, a city tower gate, like a guarding of the city, and some kind of structures inside the gates. So let's take a look at that in a little bit more detail and see what we can anticipate coming up in this set. So let's take a look at the overview of this set, the big wide kind of master shot that's on the box of this particular build. So on the left is the city gate, and it looks to be like there's a bell tower right on top of the city, kind of to warn in case of invasion. There's a minifig with a hood and a spear from the horse faction up there kind of guarding. I know there were some complaints that the main build was a dollhouse build, and it was open in the back. And in studying the box, I'm not entirely sure that that's true. I'm not entirely sure that it doesn't close up like the 3-in-1 castle set did last season. When we get to that build in the next video, I'll look more closely at this. This looks hinged to me, this city gate build. So it looks like it does close. Now, whether it closes on all four sides, I'm not sure, but it certainly closes down into a box. So, but you can see the hinging on it just to the camera right of the city gate. Now, as you go across to the right, you can see there's kind of a Tudor build with that wonderful roof, where you could see the studs, bedroom upstairs, and downstairs there's an open door. I'm not quite sure what's in that door because we can't see. There may be some detail in there, but there's certainly probably enough room for us to add some detail of our own if we want to customize it. As we move further to the right, it looks like there's a table there where the snake knight is, and looks like he's eating a turkey leg, and there's a goblet on the table, a kind of a kitchen area or a dining area within this kind of city walls. And then on the far right of this build is, of course, the windmill. And I would imagine what we're seeing inside of that structure that's below the windmill and that wonderful roof and chimney that's peeking out from the top. I'm imagining an oven in there. I'm not sure if it's true, but some sort of oven with perhaps bread being baked. And again, you can kind of sense there's another hinge on that other side, right where that windmill is, that's going to allow this set to close up. So that's kind of the master overview of it. Now, as far as other items you can build, it looks like there's a cart with two barrels that has vegetables in it, being pulled by one of the horse knights over to the king there in the scene that they're illustrating. It looks like a brick-built sheep, which is really cute, at the base of the city gate. Now, what the city gate is missing, certainly, is some sort of gate to close. Now, here's something that's probably most exciting to me. I want to show you this illustration from the box. And that is this windmill build, the city gate build, closed. And you can see that it shrinks in size. So it will open like a dollhouse, but it does close up. Now, it doesn't look like to me that it closes on all four sides. I may be wrong about that. We'll find out. But it certainly does close. And so it can present a much smaller footprint than the one that is present when the build is wide open. So I would say that if you're, starved for space, like I frequently am on my Lego table, but you'd like to have this build, it'll certainly close up into a much more compact kind of footprint. Now, the jousting scene that we looked at last time does not. It doesn't look like that folds at all. That's open and it's wide. So of the 3 builds, so far I can be pretty certain that this one, the Citygate one, certainly closes into a smaller footprint. And that may make a difference to you if, like me, you don't have a lot of room for your Lego kingdom. I have to kind of rotate my Lego in and out. In the summertime, I have a little bit more room because I set up in the garage. So that's a closer look at this. I'm very excited by the idea of a Citygate build. Now, in the last 3-in-1 castle, we had something similar where we had kind of a city vibe. So that was one of the builds with a tower, more of a tower, that was kind of guarding the community there. So it seems to be a kind of a theme that in these 3-in-1 castles, you do get, a main castle, and you get 2 other builds, and one of them seems to be kind of a town-ish feel. What's unusual about this particular set is that we're seeing a jousting scene that we didn't see in the last set. So that's very, very exciting to me. Now, I would like you to leave me a comment if you're as excited as I am by this second build. I really loved the jousting scene last week. I equally love this build, and I know that I'm going to have a dedicated set so that I can build this one as well as a dedicated set for building the jousting scene. Now, next time we're going to look at the main castle build. There have been a lot of videos out there looking at it, but I like to look a little closer at it and just some of the details that are inside the back of it, and to really look at that illustration to see if we think it might be closed on either side. So as far as this scene goes, tell me what you think. Do you see what I'm seeing on the box? Does it look like this closes? It certainly closes to a certain extent, this windmill Citygate scene. I'm not sure it closes all the way on all sides. So I'd like to know what your hypothesis is on this and whether or not you intend to buy an extra set so that you can build this scene. As always, I love hearing from you. This is Tom Bray since 1954. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again to look at that main build in greater detail. Bye-bye.